I sent $6,400 to help with my brother's baby shower, then got a message plus one not approved. Just send gifts. Mom added, "You can't afford real family, so you buy us." I smiled. Good point. I quietly removed my payments for everyone's tuition, rent, and cars. By morning, my phone exploded, and they did this. The text message came at 10:34 p.m., right as I was folding laundry. My phone buzzed, and I glanced at the screen. It was a group chat. My mom, my brother Alex, his fiancée Lily, and me, the baby shower group. Plus one not approved. Just send gifts. I stared at it, confused. A minute later, Mom's message popped up beneath it. "You can't afford real family, so you buy us." My chest tightened, but not with the usual shock or hurt. No, this time it was a strange, calm emptiness. I felt like a radio station someone had just tuned out. Their voices faded. Their noise became static. $6,400. That's how much I had sent over the past month. Gifts, venue, decorations, catering, anything Alex and Lily mentioned needing. I'd even covered the deposit for the event space because money was tight. My brother's voice on the phone had been so casual. "I know you've got a good job, and it would mean the world to Lily." A good job. They didn't know half of it. I worked 60-hour weeks managing a team at a logistics firm. It was grueling, yes, but it paid well. Well enough that I'd been quietly helping my family for years. Rent for mom and dad's condo, me, Lily's student loans, me, even the monthly car payments for Alex's Jeep, also me. But this time, it was different. That message wasn't just cruel, it was a revelation. I smiled, a real quiet smile. "Good point," I whispered to myself. I put down the laundry, walked over to my desk, and opened my laptop. One by one, I began pulling up my banking app, PayPal, and auto payment setups. Click pause monthly rent payments. Click cancel Lily's loan auto pay. Click remove Alex's car payment. It was a strange sort of peace, watching the digital cords disconnect, feeling my pulse steady with each confirmation. Then I texted the group, "Got it. I'll just send gifts." Silence, no reply. I went to bed early that night and slept better than I had in years. At 7:15 a.m., my phone exploded. 22 missed calls, 11 unread messages. My family's group chat was a storm of chaos. "Your dad's landlord called. The rent didn't go through." "Alex's car payment is overdue." "Lily says her student loans are showing as delinquent." I didn't even bother opening the notifications. I sipped my coffee, looking out the window at the clear morning sky, and waited. They would call. They always did. And at 7:30, the front door camera flashed. Dad's car pulled into my driveway. He didn't even bother knocking. I heard the pounding on the door like a heartbeat in the distance, but I didn't answer. I finished my coffee. I smiled. I didn't owe them anything. The world felt quieter after I cut them off, almost peaceful. No more endless messages about bills. No desperate calls for emergency help. I thought maybe, just maybe, I had finally escaped the endless pit of family debt. But as I walked around my tiny apartment, the silence was filled with something else. Memories. It started when I was 20. I had just landed my first real job, and Dad called me, voice tense but hopeful. "Your mother's medicine, it's just too expensive. We're barely making it." Without a second thought, I sent them $500. That was the first. Then came the one-time help from my sister, Lily. She had just started college and her student loans weren't enough. I remember how she called, her voice trembling. "I'll pay you back, I promise. I just need to get through this semester." But the semesters never ended. I kept paying, and it didn't stop there. The first car for Alex, a beat-up Jeep that I covered the down payment for because he needed it for his job. 3 months later, he quit the job. The Jeep stayed. But the worst part was the mortgage for mom and dad, their dream condo that they couldn't afford after dad's business venture fell apart. A venture he never mentioned until it failed. I was just starting my own life, but I became their safety net. Every month, an auto payment from my account to theirs. No thanks, just the occasional text. "You paid, right?" Like I was their personal accountant. The years became a blur of receipts, balance transfers, and excuses. My inbox was a graveyard of desperate messages. "Alex's car broke down. Can you cover the repair?" "Lily's tuition is overdue. They're going to drop her classes." "Your mother's medicine is getting more expensive." They never said thank you. They just assumed it was my role. But there were other moments, moments that stung like fresh cuts. Like the time mom threw a birthday party for Lily and I, paid for everything: decorations, food, even the custom cake with best sister ever written in pink frosting. They posted photos all over Facebook. What a perfect family day. Not a single mention of me. When I asked Lily about it, she laughed. Well, you weren't really there. You're always working. And then Dad's retirement. 35 years in sales. I thought I'd do something big. I bought him the luxury SUV he always talked about, the one he said was the only real car worth driving. At the family dinner, I handed him the keys with a speech about his hard work. He stood, raised his glass, and laughed. Let's toast my son, who thinks buying a car means he'll finally earn my respect. Laughter rippled across the room. My smile didn't waver, but my chest tightened. I left without saying goodbye, but I didn't take the car back. I told myself it didn't matter. It did. But what mattered most were the little betrayals, the casual cruelty. The time Lily posted a photo of her new handbag with the caption, "When you know how to hustle." I had bought it for her after she cried about her empty closet. Alex bragging about his successful side gig in front of his friends, a gig I funded to help him get started. Mom posting family photos from vacations I paid for, with captions like, "Family is everything." Family, everything, except me. And when I tried to pull back just a little, the masks came off. They didn't beg, they threatened. Stop acting like you're better than us, Dad once snapped on the phone. You have a good job because we sacrificed for you. Lily sneered. Oh, poor you. A successful manager. Do you want a medal? Alex's favorite. Money doesn't make you family, bro. Money, the thing they demanded but never respected. I kept thinking of the text. You can't afford real family, so you buy us. No, I didn't buy them. They took advantage of my kindness. And the worst part? I wasn't even angry at first. I was ashamed. Ashamed of how long I let them use me. Ashamed of how I thought this was normal. Ashamed of how I twisted myself into their personal bank account just to hear them say family. But not anymore. Not after I cut them off. Not after I remembered everything. I opened my laptop and started pulling up records. Old bank statements, PayPal transfers, text messages, years of evidence of how they leached off me. A ping from my phone, a notification from Lily, a post. Some people just forget who their real family is when they get money. It's sad. The comments were a parade of sympathy. You deserve better, Lily. Some people only care about themselves. I wanted to reply. I almost did. But then I remembered that they weren't the only ones who could make this public. My fingers hovered over the keyboard. I started saving screenshots, forwarding messages to myself, creating a folder. This wasn't just me remembering anymore. This was me preparing, and they had no idea. For 2 days, nothing. No messages, no calls, just a heavy, eerie quiet. Until today. I was in the middle of a set at the gym, the cold iron of the bar pressing against my palms, my muscles burning with each rep. Sweat dripped down my forehead. The world outside those weights didn't exist. For a moment, I was free. But then I heard it. A voice. No, multiple voices. Loud, angry, familiar. There he is! I dropped the barbell, the clang echoing across the gym floor. I turned, and my blood ran cold. They were here. Mom tears streaming down her face, clutching her purse like it was a lifeline. Dad red-faced, fists clenched. Lily eyes wild, makeup smudged like she hadn't slept. And Alex arms crossed, glaring like a storm. People stopped their workouts. A woman on a treadmill pulled out her earbuds, eyes wide. A trainer leaned against the wall, watching like it was a show. Are you happy now? Lily's voice pierced the air. We're struggling because of you. I forced a laugh, cold and sharp. I didn't destroy you. I just stopped funding your circus. Dad's voice boomed, and I felt it in my chest. We're your family. You don't just turn your back on family. Oh, I didn't turn my back. I wiped sweat from my brow. I just stopped letting you ride on mine. Murmurs spread through the gym. Someone whispered, What's going on? Another pulled out their phone, recording. Stop being dramatic. Mom's voice was a desperate wail. All we ever did was love you. Love. I stepped forward, feeling the rage boiling beneath my skin. Is that what you call this? Was it love when you guilt-tripped me into paying your rent? When you lied about Lily's tuition? When you posted family vacation photos without me because I was just the wallet? Lily screamed. Stop pretending like you're the victim here. You never cared about family? Bitter. I laughed louder this time. No, Lily, I'm free. Free from your endless whining, your constant lies. You wanted my money, not me. Dad surged forward, jabbing a finger at my chest. You never respected your own family. But the trainer stepped in. Sir, you need to leave. Oh, of course. Dad turned to the growing audience. A woman near the squat rack shook her head. Wow, this is wild. Lily's voice broke, desperate. You think cutting us off makes you powerful? You're just a lonely, miserable man with no real family? Family? I smiled, pulling out my phone. Let's talk about family. I swiped through the gallery and hit play. Her voice filled the air loud and clear. Don't worry, I'll get him to pay for it. He's naive, always has been. We'll just tell him it's for school. He never checks. Lily's face went pale. Mom's hand flew to her mouth. Dad's fists clenched tighter. I turned the screen to them. I have all the proof I need, records, messages, even receipts. If you want to keep pushing, we can take this further. You liar! Lily lunged, but Alex grabbed her, holding her back. Liar? I raised my voice, the entire gym now watching. I was your bank, your private ATM. You didn't even care if I was there as long as I paid for everything. I'll sue you, Dad shouted, spit flying. I'll ruin you. I leaned in, voice calm but ice cold. Go ahead, but I'm done. No more money, no more lies. I don't owe you a single thing. Mom collapsed onto a bench, sobbing. You're killing us. Your own family? No, Mom, I whispered. I'm saving myself. I turned and walked toward the exit, the whispers and gasps following me. I didn't look back. I didn't have to. My phone vibrated in my pocket. A text from an unknown number. That was insane. I got it all on video. Want me to send it to you? I smiled. Send it. The real story was just beginning. The lawyer's office was colder than I expected. Clean, sterile, like a courtroom waiting for a verdict. I sat across from Mr. Graham, a seasoned attorney with a face carved from granite. His eyes scanned the stack of documents I had handed him. Bank statements, text messages, photos. Years of my life reduced to black ink on white paper. After a long silence, he leaned back, folding his hands. I've seen scams. I've seen fraud. But this, he shook his head, this is a family treating you like a cash machine. I want it back, I said, voice steady. Every dollar. Mr. Graham's gaze sharpened. We can make that happen. Given the evidence, we can file for unjust enrichment and fraudulent misrepresentation. They took your money under false pretenses. They manipulated you. Manipulated. The word settled over me like a shadow. That's what it had always been. Not love, not family, just manipulation. 2 days later, the first letter went out. A demand for repayment. Every dollar they had squeezed from me, calculated and itemized. $12,000 in rent payments for my parents. $16,500 in Lily's student loans, never used for tuition. $8,000 for Alex's Jeep, now with scratches and dents he never bothered fixing. $6,400 for the baby shower. A total of $42,900. It wasn't just about the money. It was about taking back every piece of myself they had stolen. The panic began within 48 hours. Mom called first. Sweetheart, I just got this letter. What does it mean? Are you serious? You can't be serious. Dead serious, Mom. I was calm, too calm. You have 30 days to return everything you took from me. After that, we go to court. Court? We're family? Her voice cracked, desperation seeping in. You can't do this to us. I didn't do anything to you. I just stopped letting you do it to me, I whispered. The next call was from Dad. No begging, just rage. You ungrateful child. After everything we did for you? Did for me? I laughed. Name one thing you did for me that wasn't for yourselves. He sputtered, words failing him. I hung up. Lily's texts were a mix of anger and hysteria. How can you be so selfish? You're ruining my life? I'll tell everyone you're a monster. I sent her one message. Do it. I have the receipts. Literally. By the end of the week, the desperation turned into full-blown chaos. They tried to ignore the letter, hoping I would back down. But then the second letter arrived, an official pre-litigation notice. The next step was a lawsuit, and that's when they began to crack. Mom called crying. "Please, honey, we can talk about this. I'll explain everything." It wasn't what it looked like. "It looked like you used me," I interrupted. "You lied. You manipulated me, and now you pay it back." "You want to destroy us over money?" she sobbed. "What kind of son does that?" "Not a son," I replied coldly. A victim. But not anymore. Dad called, trying a different approach. "Look, you're a businessman now, right? We can make a deal. You drop this and we'll apologize." "I don't want apologies," I said. "I want my money." Then the real panic set in. Alex's Jeep was listed for sale online. A desperate post. Quick sale, no reasonable offer refused. Lily started working double shifts at a bar, the same one she used to mock me for working at during college. Dad tried to refinance their condo, but their credit was garbage without my help. I stayed silent. I watched them scramble, knowing they were trapped. They never saved. They never planned. They just assumed I would always be there. Then came the message from their lawyer, a desperate plea for a mediation. They wanted to settle. They didn't want this to go to court, not because they cared about losing money, but because they knew they would lose their reputation. I agreed, but on my terms. The mediation room was a battlefield. Mom sat with her hands trembling, her eyes red. Dad stared at the table, refusing to meet my gaze. Lily looked ready to scream, her makeup a mess. Alex was missing, probably hiding from shame. Their lawyer spoke first. "My clients are willing to make a good faith offer of $10,000 to resolve this matter." I almost laughed. $10,000? You owe me 4 times that. Lily's fist slammed the table. "You're ruining our lives. You know that we're your family. Family." I leaned forward. "Family doesn't drain you dry. Family doesn't lie to you. Family doesn't laugh while they rob you." Dad finally looked up. "You think you're so much better than us, but you're nothing. Just a lonely, bitter man." "Better lonely than being blood dry by parasites," I shot back. Their lawyer cleared his throat. "Let's stay professional." "No," I cut him off. "Professional is what this is. They owe me $42,900. They will pay every cent." Dad's knuckles turned white. "You won't see a penny." I slid a document across the table. "Then we go to court, and I'll make sure everyone sees exactly what kind of family you are." Silence. The room seemed to shrink. Their lawyer whispered something to them. Mom's shoulders slumped. Lily stared daggers at me. Dad looked old, defeated. Finally, they signed. Full repayment and monthly installments until every cent was returned. If they missed even one payment, I could seize their assets. And as we left the room, Lily spat at me. "We can't believe you would do this to your own family." I smiled. Finally, the first payment arrived 2 weeks later. $2,000, a small drop in the ocean of what they owed, but it was a start. They tried calling, texting, leaving voice messages, all ignored. I changed my number, deleted them from social media, and watched their world collapse from a distance. Their desperate Facebook posts became a sad spectacle. Lily crying about toxic people, Dad blaming fake family, Mom posting Bible quotes about forgiveness. But I didn't respond. I didn't care. Freedom wasn't just about getting my money back. It was about taking back my life. And with every payment they sent, I felt it, the weight lifting, the chains breaking. They sold me out for years. Now they were finally paying the price. My apartment hadn't changed. Same walls, same couch, but it felt different. Quieter, lighter. No desperate messages, no guilt-tripping texts. The silence was addictive. I smiled without reason. Walked to the gym without a weight on my chest. Lifted without imagining their voices mocking me. Ran until my lungs burned with something clean, something that wasn't shame. Every month, my phone pinged with a notification, a deposit, another payment from the family that once drained me dry. They never missed a payment. They couldn't. Missing one meant court. At first, they tried leaving messages in the payment descriptions. "This isn't fair. We're your family. How could you do this to us?" I ignored them. Empty words from people who once called me an ATM. One rainy Thursday, I saw another notification. $2,000 deposited. No message this time. They had run out of excuses, run out of guilt, run out of me. I deleted it without a second thought. The city was alive in a way I'd never noticed. I walked streets I had ignored for years, found quiet parks, tried new cafes. I even signed up for a coding course, something I had always wanted but never had time for. One Saturday at a local coffee shop, an old friend, Mark, tapped me on the shoulder. Man, you look different. Happy. What happened? I smiled. I stopped paying for people who didn't care about me. He laughed. Well, that's cold. No, I sipped my coffee. That's freedom. That night, I stared at my old bank account, the one they had turned into their personal treasure chest. I clicked Close Account. A warning popped up. Are you sure? This action is irreversible. Yes, I was sure. One click, and it was gone. A clean slate, a fresh start. I grabbed my jacket, walked out into the cool evening air, each step feeling lighter. Stopped by a small cafe, ordered a cappuccino, and watched the rain trickle down the window. People laughed, couples held hands. Life moved on, and so did I. I didn't lose a family, I lost a burden, and I was never going back. But sometimes, in the quiet of the night, I wonder if I could have saved us, if there was a version of this story where we didn't end up as strangers. Yet I know that letting go was the only way to save myself. If you'd like, I can help you format this further or adapt it for a particular medium.